this?
Let's do this, New Glenn.
Is just the beginning.
Howdy, and welcome everybody to New Shepard's 10th human flight. Thank you for joining us. It's another great day to fly to space. I'm Eddie Safer, joined today by Isabella Gillespie. Isabella, it's great to have you at the desk today.
Why, thank you, Eddie. I can tell you there's absolutely no place that I'd rather be, well, maybe other than the rocket itself, but I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Isabella, you've been a part of our astronaut sales team for about a year and a half, and you've done phenomenal work with the astronaut experience team for New Shepard. I think your point of view at the desk today is going to be priceless.
I really appreciate you saying so. You know, the astronaut experience team is such a phenomenal group of people. I count myself blessed to be able to work with them, work beside them. It really is the astronaut experience team, the crew member 7 team, and all the folks really behind the scenes that's able to make the magic happen down in Texas today.
That's right. Special thank you to our Texas folks that are making this launch, human launch, number 10 for New Shepard in the program, happen today. And so much work goes into curating this whole experience for our astronauts that we get to view and enjoy today. And it's certainly an exciting time for the New Shepard program as we start to increase our cadence on flights. There on the flight, in fact, on the screen in front of you, you've got our astronauts starting to egress, right? That means they've walked across to the launch tower, are walking across the gantry and ingressing into the crew capsule for today's flight. With that, Isabella, tell us who is going to space today.
I would be delighted. First, we have Lane Bess, who, in fact, is returning onto New Shepard to fly to the stars for a second time. We have Spanish adventurer and TV host Jesus Calleja. We have Elaine Hyde, an entrepreneur, physicist, and a pilot. Dr. Richard Scott, a doctor, a professor, and another avid pilot on board. Tushar Shah we have, who works in finance from New York City. And we also have a 6th astronaut on board who has requested that we not share his name today. I like to think that he simply requested he remain under the radar but over the Kármán line. Eddie, this is going to be another incredible crew flying to space, and I love to see that crew photo. I mean, we have 6 bright, smiling faces. 5 of those are going to be newly minted astronauts, and it's extra special to welcome back Lane on board New Shepard.
No, absolutely. And, these folks showed up in Texas a few days ago, and so we had another crew photo of them in cowboy hats and really living that authentic experience. So we've got the crew photo on the top left, and on the bottom right, that's crew member 7, Rob Frulowski, getting the crew situated for, their seats. They've been training, they've got their seats adjusted, and so these are the final checks before we close the hatch. Now, as you mentioned, Lane will be the 4th astronaut we have welcomed back on board New Shepard. We're really, really proud that this experience resonates so deeply with people that several now have, come back for more. And I don't know, I think if you're Lane and you're sitting on top of the crew capsule right now, this familiar experience of having been there before with the new crew, it just adds a different flavor to the experience.
Well said. I really think it speaks to New Shepard, the program itself, and the hospitality surrounding the experience that leads up to this moment. In fact, seeing that crew get inside of the capsule, what's happened is the fact that these astronauts have been practicing that very motion, those movements getting into the capsule. So right now there's a lot of muscle memory in play. I'm sure a lot of their senses are heightened. They're getting excited. The realness of this launch is setting in for them for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel. I appreciate those reflections. Now, we've got the patch for our 30th mission there on the screen. This is tradition, of course, to have symbols that are personal to each astronaut that are personal to each astronaut embedded in the design. And so now with T-minus 29 minutes and 30 seconds, we're going to take a pause and enjoy the shots of the New Shepard rocket on the pad while we wait for Capcom, that's capsule communicator Jake Mills, to do a comms check-in here shortly. Let's listen in. to New Shepard 30. That's Jake Mills in the bottom right corner, our capsule communicator, Capcom. Now, before he was crew member 7, he was a turbo machinery subject matter expert, and here momentarily he'll be checking in with each of the astronauts in their seats, calling them by their call sign, and making sure that they've got communications direct to Jake for the entire mission. Let's listen in. While we have time, Isabella, I just want to point out that is a beautiful West Texas day. Clear skies. You can see the flare stack there that's burning off any excess fuel to the top left above the New Shepard rocket. These are all the systems that keep our astronauts safe during astronaut load. That's what's happening right now, right? So our astronauts went out to the launch pad, crossed the launch tower, crossed the gantry, ingressed into the crew capsule, and these are really the final steps before the capsule communication check, because after that the hatch will close and the New Shepard operations team will clear the launch tower back to mission control. And so there's a great shot there of Rob, our crew member 7, that is with the astronauts, preparing them for those final moments before hatch closes. And I believe he's there with Mike Cox, who's a technician that's been there in West Texas for a dozen years, and we've got a great shot here of the desert and the name of the crew capsule. So that's RSS First Step, reusable spaceship first step. This crew capsule has flown to space now 11 times. Today marks the 12th flight of RSS First Step. It's the vehicle that we first launched in 2021 in preparation for our first human flight, and it's the vehicle that now's flown. Well, after today will be 50 humans to space. So it's really, again, a special moment and a great view of the rocket. Let's hold here while we wait for the capsule communication test with Jake Mills, crew member 7, and our astronaut crew today.
Started with a comm check. As a reminder, hold down your push to talk button, turn your head to the right, and speak into the mic. Astronaut Best, comm check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Best, good to go.
Excellent, I have you same. Calleja, comm check.
Blue Control, Calleja, ready.
Astronaut coming in a little quiet. Make sure you speak right into the mic. Astronaut Shaw, Blue Control, com check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Shaw, loud and clear.
I have the same. Hatchet, Blue Control, com check.
Blue Control, Hatchet, loud and clear.
I have the same. Rogue, Blue Control, com check.
Blue Control, Rogue, check.
I have you good. Astronaut Rabs, com check.
Blue Control, Rad, loud and clear, ready to fly.
Awesome. Have you loud and clear. Height first step, we are at T-minus 21 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. Continuing through our procedures here in Mission Control. I'm going to keep you updated at everything we're doing. For now, just sit back and enjoy the experience.
All right, astronaut. Godspeed. Thank you.
Isabella, we've just heard our astronauts and their creative call signs. We've received confirmation that the communication systems are working in the cabin and everyone's good to go. Great job there by Jake Mills and Rob Frilowski, our crew member 7, that they're going to continue to get the astronauts situated, ready to fly, and accompany them to space. Every crew has a special crew name, and this crew has named themselves a Perfect 10.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, considering the fact that this is, in fact, our 10th human flight. I love it. 10 out of 10.
Well, and Perfect 10s are so elusive and so hard to accomplish in real life, so we're hoping that that's what this crew does today. If you're just joining us, we're a little over T-minus 20 minutes from New Shepard's 10th human flight. Isabella, how are we feeling?
You know, Eddie, I'll say, for the benefit of Earth and our viewers at home, I'll refrain from singing, but I'm feeling good. You know, I really do get emotional when it comes time to manifest the astronauts, so when it comes time to launch them to space, I can hardly contain my excitement. I am sure the astronauts feel the same, as well as their wonderful families that are watching close by.
Yes, that's exactly right? These astronauts will experience our planet firsthand. And really, we've seen that this experience creates a new outlook for each of them. So we'd like to take a moment to, look back at the story of New Shepard so far.
Capsule.
Go.
Holy Martian.
Booster.
Is this wild?
Go.
Each person that goes up there,
Ground. Go.
all of a sudden has a totally different perspective
Wow, look at that view.
Caps off. Go.
of this little place here.
New Shepard is go for launch.
This is heaven!
It's almost like an out-of-body experience.
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
This is a new era where people like a teacher from North Carolina gets to go to space.
Space has always been something I've wanted to do, but it's never been accessible until now.
Look at that view. Look at the view.
It's just unbelievable. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really take it in. Everybody else should go to space. Look at the Earth. Just look outside. Look at the Earth. We're in space.
This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. Oh my word. I'm just spinning. That was enlightenment.
This is the best experience of my life, by far. Everyone in the world deserves to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Oh my God.
It's just a dream come true. I wanted to do this my entire life.
I just went to space as the first woman from Mexico.
I think we need to give this gift of perspective to everybody.
Oh man, this is too cool. I always said I'm gonna do it, and I just did it. We went to space!
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I can't believe this.
As soon as you land, you will want more of it.
The New Shepard astronaut alumni community putting this experience into words better than any of us ever could. Now, so far we've flown 47 people across 9 human flights. All told, that's just about over 7% of people who have ever flown above the Kármán line, all from West Texas. Following the flight today, that number will increase to 52 people. Isabella, what does New Shepard do for us?
You know, what I love is the fact that it allows everyday people like you and I and like our viewers at home to go to space, to become astronauts. In fact, a few missions ago on NS-27, we introduced our second human-rated vehicle. It was an uncrewed verification flight for the new rocket. We also flew that same booster on our most recent mission on NS-29, which is a payload flight. Now, that's not the rocket that we're looking at on the pad today, but it will be flying humans very, very soon. We added another vehicle to the fleet simply so that way we could better meet the customer demand.
Thank you. And again, amazing example today with New Shepard 10. Wow, what a crew, a perfect 10. Let's go ahead and meet the crew. We're now about T-minus 15 minutes and 30 seconds to NS-30, the 10th human flight of our program. Let's talk about the stars of the show. In seat number 1, we're proud to welcome back Lane Best, the principal and founder of Best Ventures and Advisory. He's led and built some of the world's largest cybersecurity companies, including Palo Alto Networks and Zscaler. Lane is also a trustee at Carnegie Mellon and supports numerous philanthropic interests across health and social issues. He first flew to space on NS-19, and we're so honored to welcome him back today. In seat number 2, we're thrilled to welcome Spanish adventurer, pilot, and TV host Jesus Calleja. Bienvenido, Jesus. Jesus' adventures have taken him to every corner of the world, including the 7 summits, the North and South Poles, the numerous deserts, active volcanoes, and ancient sinkholes of this earth. Jesus is also a passionate race car driver, and he's participated in numerous international racing competitions, including 4 editions of the Dakar Rally and a 3,400-mile journey from the French Pyrenees to Senegal. One thing we know for sure, Jesus is in for the adventure of his life. We're thrilled to have him on board, and we know there are so many people in Spain cheering him on today. Una cosa que sabemos con certeza, Jesús, usted está a punto de vivir la aventura de su vida. Estamos encantados de tenerlo a bordo. Sabemos que hay muchísima gente en España y por todo el mundo acompañándolo y animándolo hoy. Muchísimas felicidades.
Well said, Eddie. In seat number 3, we have founder and entrepreneur Tushar Shah. Tushar is a partner and co-head of research at a hedge fund in New York City. He studied physics as an undergraduate and high-energy experimental particle physics for his PhD. He and his wife have 2 children and are passionate philanthropists focusing on paying it forward and addressing issues related to poverty, health, and education.
In seat number 4, we have Dr. Richard Scott. Richard is a founding partner and CEO of Viverma Global, the world's largest reproductive care group with clinics and laboratories in 10 countries. He's also an adjunct professor at Yale University Medical School and the Medical School at University of South Carolina, Greenville. He founded a nonprofit focused on reproductive research, where he also serves as scientific director. Dr. Scott is a passionate pilot, and get this, he and his wife have been married for 45 years and have 4 children.
I bet they are so excited to see their dad go to space today, Eddie.
No, certainly. And Dr. Scott, we think you're in for one of the most beautiful aerial views possible to experience in your life today.
Certainly so. In seat number 5, we have Elaine Hyde. She's an entrepreneur, physicist, and an avid pilot. She's the founder of the Chicago Star, a news and media company, as well as Eastside Enterprises, a research and development company focused on AI-assisted media products. Fun fact, Elaine was born in Singapore and grew up in Australia. Space has been captivating her imagination since she was a child, like many of us watching today. During college, she studied business and physics with the goal of inventing experiments to be conducted in space. What an absolute honor it is to help fulfill her lifelong dream today of reaching the stars. You know, fun fact again, Elaine and her husband, who happens to also be a physicist, have not 4, but actually 5 children. And once again, I bet they're excited to see their mom go to the stars today.
What a great roundup of the crew today. We've got physicists, we've got partners, spouses, parents, pilots, entrepreneurs, philanthropists. It really is a credit to your team, Isabella, the astronaut experience team that has focused on getting us such a diverse slate of humans for New Shepard to fly.
You know, it takes a village, Eddie, but I will say with our mission and vision being to have millions of people living and working in space, it's something that it's extremely important that we ensure that the population in space is representative of the population here on Earth.
Perfect. Yeah, you know, a great vision. Oh, and there we have the gantry being retracted a little bit from the crew capsule. Sorry, I just wanted to call that out as it was happening. We're at T-minus 11 minutes and 30 seconds. New Shepard is on the pad and awaiting launch. If you're just joining us, this is the 30th flight for the New Shepard program and our 10th human flight. Now today our nonprofit, Club for the Future, is sending postcards to space and back on New Shepard from space enthusiasts and partners from all over the world, including Pololo Elementary School in Hawaii, Seattle Children's Hospital, and the Space for Art Foundation. We're thrilled to support Club for the Future and inspire and mobilize the next generation to pursue careers in space, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Now, like we've done on past mission, today's astronaut crew, a perfect 10, made their own postcards to fly to space. Every time we fly astronauts, each one creates a postcard, right? Something that they can build that's small, that they take with them to space and safely back. And here they are. There's Jesus Calleja there with, you know, a motif and a theme for his flight today. Isabella, have you made a postcard to space before?
I certainly have. I made my first postcard to space back in January of 2022. I had not yet joined Team Blue, but I was so inspired. In fact, I had my mom and dad right there with me. We signed a beautiful letter that we sent to the stars, and wouldn't you know it, that just 1 week ago, my dad sent me a picture of the postcard that's now been stamped, certifying that it went to the stars, it's been in space, and I cannot wait to get my postcard framed.
What an inspiring story, right? To have filled out the postcard before you started your career at Blue, now to be here doing phenomenal work with the astronaut experience team, and then receive that postcard back. That's a very special story.
It really brings it full circle, having been just 1 week ago and now being here at the desk with you, Eddie.
Now, before we wrap up this topic on postcards, I do notice we've entered a hold at the T-minus 10 minutes. You know, anyone can do this. You know, there's a digital postcard drawing tool that's open to you. If you're a student, if you're a lifelong student, you know, always want to be a lifelong learner. There's curriculum that, you know, teaches students and anybody who's doing it about space, about the value of space, walks you through the instructions. And you can also do this digitally at draw.clubforfuture.org. With T-minus 10 minutes and a little bit of a minute into the hold, let's go ahead and toss it to the New Shepard rocket at the launch pad as we wait for further direction from Mission Control.